We are looking at every single agency, both their current service levels and their requests for policy option packages, which are places they'd like to spend even more money, and evaluating every single one of them with a critical eye. We had some conversations this morning about whether we could consolidate certain areas, and I'm not going to discuss specifics because they're in early stages, but we're looking at ways to reduce infrastructure costs and consolidate so that we can focus more on program and less on background work. We're looking at ways to share expenses across multiple agencies. I think and we're looking at Senator Johnson, Representative Rayfield, and I are obviously all on the audits committee, and we are definitely interested in beefing up the opportunities for the legislature to play an active role in audits, both on financial and on performance areas. Obviously, the Secretary of State has a role in that, and we look forward to collaborating with him, but the legislature has a fiscal responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to audit the finances of every single state agency, and we take that responsibility seriously. So we'll be looking into new areas where we can play a more assertive role in making sure that we have robust oversight of executive branch agencies in terms of their budgets. That's our responsibility.
How might agencies be combined?
Well, I think you can look, for example, about a few years back, we developed the Health Licensing Office, which took a lot of the smaller ones, the estheticians, the nail technicians, things like that, things that could be managed in one agency and had separate entities overseeing them, and we combined it into one Health Licensing Office. You see that in other areas. The acupuncturists are done by the medical board, right? Are there other ways to consolidate? For example, in licensing, there have been conversations off and on about whether building codes and construction contractors boards ought to be brought together because their work overlaps so much. I'm not commenting pro or con on any of those specifically, Dick, but I think that they're all worth giving serious consideration to. When you split agencies apart, there is perforce a requirement for more background support staff that doesn't necessarily serve taxpayers well. And we have to be looking at each of these critically to determine where it makes sense to keep them apart and where it makes sense to bring them together. Things like that. Where entities are best served, which agencies they should be in. Looking at all sorts of questions that way.
Okay, we gotta quit, you guys.